Okay. Hello, everyone. So if you hear a bit of chewing, I am finishing off a cookie. It is a very good cookie. So, tonight, we are finishing Blade Lineage generics, since we didn't get around to that last time. We are going to be tweaking Blade Lineage Mentor just to bring it in line with modern standards. And then, depending on how much time we have, we might get started on G-Corp. Sound good? Alright. So, I suppose we should just get started. Let's do the 2-1 enemy. So, let me just double check, yeah. So they should be roughly comparable to the Kurakumo henchmen. Though I think I want them to be ever so slightly stronger. Just because I think well, for one, the Blade Lineage is fought in a urban nightmare of Ruina instead of urban plague. That's part of it. And also, they just seem more dedicated and individualistic, rather than the Kurakumo clan who fights more in numbers. So, still very much comparable, but Blade Lineage has a slight edge. As seen especially in their mentor versus the captain, a noticeable difference. So, let's go ahead and tweak you first. I think you need more hit points. You are supposed to be simultaneously a leader and a soloist. You also need more passives. Good god. Blade Lineage, Bamboo-Hatted Kim. Problem is, most of this stuff is either too minimal to be worth making, or just something that can be put into the kit itself. So, what are we thinking? Yeah, Ongdu is kind of implied to be around June's level at her peak. Keep in mind, Ruina, when you fight them, is not the same as necessarily their level. That is a good thing to keep in mind. It is the level at which they go to the library. It is the library's hazard rating, not their own. They're generally going to be around the same range, but like, I do not believe the Night Owls are a Star of the City syndicate on their own. Hello. Hope you're doing well too. So, what to do with you? What does... Oh, I do not need... Hope that didn't leak anything. Blade Lineage Mentor Merceau. We have that. We have the Unrelenting. Yeah, not much. Your 4 players just killed Bamboo-Hatted Kim. Oh no! A legend is gone. Don't worry, he can return as a robot Bamboo-Hatted Kim. What do the other Blade Lineage have in terms of passive? Nope, that's Merceau. Yep, spreading poise makes sense. Red Plum Blossom, we're probably not making that special status. That could work. Last coin on this. That could be interesting. If we... I'm wondering about maybe on Clash lose or Clash win, the final die in the sequence gets more power. Just a slight amount, maybe. An interesting idea. There's also this. That could be interesting, too. And then, yeah. So... I'm thinking... this could be a good one. Level-headed. Boom. On hits against a target who possesses... Oh. We do not need to be bolded. Who possesses... or possess... one half or fewer of their maximum hit points deal 2 additional damage. Okay. Just to save Yaldabaoth some trouble proofreading. Yep. Okay. Yeah, being stronger and having something to do with honor. Yeah. Poise, definitely want to give him a little more poise. So... let's... maybe... Yeah, it's hard to work with too much poise, because it's a very odd one. Yeah, I do want to give more sources of poise. This is easy enough to clash against. But he does have a decent amount of bleed. I could get rid of some bleed and swap for more poise. That could be a good idea. Yeah. Definitely want to be careful with poise. It is strong and does not always invoke very much like thematic ideas, if that makes sense. Like, there's a little bit of flavor in it, but it's hard to, like, really put it in most skills if you're really focusing on flavor. What about... wait, is this... there is this... I was going to say I could give him on clash lose with offensive dice gain poise. Yeah. Spend poise for bonus effects. I'm more so looking to gain poise just because he has so little. Oh, poise support? Yeah, I probably should make modules for that. It's been a while since the poise rework and it hasn't really gotten much, so... Boom. What I wanna do? Oh, I could do... Under... That sounds like a fun passive name, and then... Boop. When... Honestly, just a sort of reprint of the Queequeg's passive might be good. Let's just go ahead and copy from her. Oh, that's Lovetown. God. And then... There we go. So that punishes single dice skills while also his kit... Oh, no. Yeah. It works well. It's a decent way to make you want to clash into him with multiple dice without being too crazy. Go to Veneration needs rework. I guess so, yeah. I didn't make that one, so I don't remember exactly what it has. I thought I reworked it when I did the Poise update. Oh, no, look at that. That might... No, that looks updated. Yeah. So, I think this is a good ability. And I think that makes him a lot better, generally. Our player's supposed to know what the attacks of the enemies do only once this skill has been used the first time. After that, they can know, but the start of combat is meant to be sort of figuring out the enemies, and then once you have that, you have a significant advantage. But you're going in blind to start. Oh, thanks. Yeah, I definitely try and figure out interesting names for skills. Sometimes you just need to be weirdly verbose. Yeah, I also generally tend to look up synonyms a lot. Lots of looking words up to figure out how to name things. Yeah. So... I'm actually liking his kit more than I remembered. I think it's generally pretty good. I think it was just the passives that were missing. Yeah. I like that I gave Safeguard on Yield My Flash. That's fun. That's a good way to do that. Good job, me. Yeah, okay. So... Yep. More HP, more damage against low HP enemies, and this. So, I like that. So, let's start copying things over. I think I want the tankier one to have this, and... fast offensive one to have this. At some point I want to make one, like a tank that has 2 speed dice and 1 light regen, and DPS that has 1 speed die and 2 light regen. It won't be now, but eventually I want to figure that out. Because that sounds fun. Boom. Oh, cool. Also, do I want you to be 3 poise or 2? Honestly, as a 2 poise thing, this could be a feat. I might make this a feat at some point. Oh, that's something to think about. Anyway. For you, probably just same as Kurokumo clan. Boom. Boom. And for resistances... Yeah. Yeah, you kinda get what I'm thinking. Definitely weak to blunt. Pierce. Damage down, but staggers same. Then... yeah, that way they have pretty good resistances. And then, what do I have for your D10s? I think D8 plus 2. Make them super fast. Light regen 1. Okay. That is fun. Your Urban Plague and your... Bamboo-Hatted Kim himself can be Urban Nightmare. This is not necessarily always Bamboo-Hatted Kim, it can be, but I would assume there are other Blade Lineage mentors out there, leading different packs of them. Bamboo-Hatted Kim is just like the big one. Oh. Edwidgeon? Yeah, I'll take a look at homebrew pretty soon. I kind of have not been looking at a lot of homebrew recently, but I should do that before I get to the proper work for 1.7, or 0.7. Yeah, totally not an advertisement. Totally not your homebrew that you're trying to get me to look at. Okay. So what? You know what? You need an on-crit effect. Let's just make the effect and then figure out what you're... You know what? What? Midnight Blade Dance, Acupuncture, Red Plum Blossom Scatter. Let's do... We're just gonna do a simple effect. Oh, no. Penguin Plum Blossom. Oh, I do kind of think I want a third Blade Lineage member. That is more like the Don Quixote one. That's more of a teacher. But I don't think I'll do that this stream. I might just do that off stream or something. Sanguine Plum Blossom. What? Alright. On, crit, inflict, 1, bleed. And simple as that. And that's gonna be their main source of bleed. I don't think they will have much else. They can have a little bleed as a treat. Okay. Then, let's see, is there anything... You need acupuncture. Definitely. And it needs to be a little weaker. But I think only a little. There we go. That's fine. Actually, you can be a little stronger than that just because I took your bleed away too. I'd just add more bleed on crit. I think just one bleed on crit is fine. They'll be critting a lot. So I don't think it's too... let's see. Anything else? Slay, I don't think so. Draw of the sword. And have that be... Boop. 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 So, wider range. And instead of inflicting bleed, you are going to be on use. Now, when I have two skills on different enemies of the same name, I want to keep them relatively similar in terms of clashing and the way they are generally used, but there can absolutely be differences in the exact way it functions. Actually, this should be after use, so it's not just immediately used. After use. Gain 2 poise. Grab you. And boom. Hell yeah. Okay, yeah, that's pretty weak, actually. Yeah, that's not all that strong. Let's up you. And up you one. Yeah, same clashing pattern. Make sure you're not just blindsided by them using a completely different skill, but the exact details can vary. Yeah, this actually needs to be a lot stronger. What the fuck? Why are you out here with a skill weaker than what most players would have? You are meant to be a boss, and you are meant to be a relatively tough enemy. We do not need this. Do clash win. I don't think I need gain more poise. Wait, do you have a light regen? No, that's right, because you have high light regen already. But, honestly, you're gonna be using 3 skills a turn with 5 light regen. Yeah, you're fine. Oh, haste. What am I doing? Haste. On, use, gain. 1. Easy, easy, easy. Oh. Oh. Yeah, okay, so... Now... do we want to... Of the sword, acupuncture, I think that's all we want in that regard. So what Faust has, and she's the one who I'm mostly basing this off of, she has a 3-coin skill 1, but especially since we have acupuncture here, I'm not sure if I want to go fully into that. what I do want to do, at least have a cheap skill that does have at least dice. You know what? Maybe you have a block. What the fuck is up with that? You are an evader if I've ever seen one. Yeah, putting enemies against enemies can be nice. It's a little hard to do with the way the system works, but... yeah. We don't balance enemies in this household. Oh, you know what? Power +2 if users speed 8 or more. That way it's still strong, clashes very well, but is not so overwhelming. Then I want an evade, because... grab the block. Wind step. Evade. After use, if the user wasn't hit during this skill, regain 1 life. And then just a d6 + 1. And honestly, I don't think it needs much. You know what? No. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's not crazy, but it is strong. And that is what I want. So we need more slash. We also need... I don't think we need a 3-cost skill on you. Honestly, just something like this would... also, a way to gain more poise. So, I'm thinking 1 costs multiple die slash skill that gives poise. Easily done. Use do not gain haste. E6. Oh. Hit. Gain 1 poise. Boom. Boom, boom. And have you be a little weaker. Yeah, it's easily evadable. I do not need to make it any stronger than that. I'm a little worried that they're too comparable, but I think because of how this one works with the extra crit damage and the extra power on Clash Win, that nailing doesn't inflict nails? What do you mean? We have the, nail. There's hammer and nail. Oh yeah, that's right, the N-Corp dudes. Yeah, I didn't want to give... 1, I didn't have nails when I made the N-Corp guy, and 2, yeah. And 2, I didn't want to give them to just the little guys, because that's a whole special status and all that. But, Middle Hammer and Gross Hammer will absolutely have the status. I can guarantee you. And of course, one who grips. Do. Honestly, I think this might be good. I'm worried she's not that much of a threat, because she mostly just has these skills. Like, she can have a lot of damage potential, but will she actually live up to that potential? Like, I feel like I need just something to make her really threatening. Yeah, Cromer would probably be put in City Legend. Yeah. Yeah, I'll leave it for now. I don't want to get stuck on this, and we have more to do. So, let's copy you over, and you're gonna have a slightly different version of this. Everyone gets a slightly different version. And you can have Slay. And you can have... don't want to give you Claim Their Bones. Overthrow? Yeah, probably. And then just have it be... No, because you're not gonna make use of Strength. Are you? What do you have here? Yeah, Slay, Overthrow. Stun. Fate? Nah. Fate is for a very specific few characters who use it as their gimmick. Yeah, check power based on poise. Alright, let's just figure out this. Instead of haste, protection. Boop. Boop, status list. Alright, protection. Boop. And there we go. And you can inflict a little bleed. Oh, I started your Clash win and I never finished it. Power. Or 2 if user. Now, that's a weird conditional just because it's a matter of, like, when do you actually check for that versus spending your poise. Oh, wait, why did it Clash win? Why was it Clash win when my whole thing was looking to put it in line with... Yeah, I was making a check, but... Ugh. Decisions. I get distracted so easily. I'm just gonna finish this guy and then go back to him if I feel like it. Okay, so Slay. I think I want to keep the die, but get rid of that. Otherwise, I think it's good. So, 3 aggro. And then 3 cost. Honestly, overthrow is probably a good one. I just want to do an overthrow that actually helps him, so we don't need that because he's not going to be doing much with that. Also, do we want a second passive? Oh, we don't have stats. Get you some stats, motherfucker. You. Copy over to get them. Copy over to you. 1 speed die. Yeah, D8 sounds fine. Shouldn't be slow, but you also not be particularly fast. Get points. Wait. I am so bamboozled. Let me just copy you to start with. I think you'd be a little more weak. You're saying. Boom, boom. Boom. There we go. That's fun. Let's say at the start of each scene, gain 1 strength if the user has 8 or more poise. There we go. Incentive to keep poise for a little while, and then eventually spend it when needed. Let's see, what is Blade Lineage Yiseng? It is poised. His support passive is poised. And bestow. His counter is counter, of course. What is another? Slayer, Bloodied Hands, Level-Headed Double Tap. Penguin Plum Blossoms, Lingering Blade Point. Blade Lineage Otis, who's just bad. Fun! Yep, that's totally a great design. Let's just do that. Not the best name for it, but it works. Oh, and I need the strength factor. There you are. Boop, boop. Okay. Go. bleed, Clash Wind, another blade out, Lineage ally, regain light. Okay. Honestly, it can be a little stronger than his, just because his can give a massive amount of strength that he can actually use. So, I'm not opposed to making this a bit stronger. Yeah, you saying it's a sort of interesting ID design. Oh, you're not gonna take me there? Okay. Sort of interesting. It is sort of his iconic thing, but there's not much I can do with it in this system. I mean, on Clash Wind gain poise count, sure, but I think this is a much more interesting poise gain passive. I can put poise in here. I have a really stupid idea for a move. I just want to write out the basic concept of it. I don't think I'm actually gonna give it to him, but boop. Oh wait, do this so it doesn't mess up. Boom. Block. Let's do evade one, because that. Flash, lose. The opposing die is defensive die. Gain poise. Roll 1/3 of that die. Really stupid idea, just taking the hit. And then it would come with, like, an actual die to do things with. Yeah, I do kind of like it. It's a bit silly, but... Resolve. You know what? That can be 2 resolve. You're taking a full unopposed hit. Yeah, I could say it has a set value, but honestly, yeah. Suppose I should probably clarify. This. There we go. Then for the slash, boom. Yeah, I think this works well because it's a reminder that shows that this is not a mistake. But it also is not... It does not get in the way. Boom, boom, and then I think I died. Regain stagger assist equal stagger dealt by this die. Okay, I think that's interesting. I have no idea if that's actually a threatening skill or not, but what? Heel turn, flank thrust. Let's call it heel turn. Cost 3 nuke. We do have overthrow, which is more of a support thing. So I suppose we could do a cost 3, 1 die that can mess people up. Yeah, let's try. Yeah, overthrow. It's good if you get off the light regen, but I agree it does need a little something something. It is weaker than heel turn in terms of like overall clashing power, but I think the light regen is not bad. Not bad at all. Does need a little something though. Yep, 5 skills! 5 skills for the Yisang! Do I want to do that, or do I just want to make this stronger? I think, honestly, just making this stronger. You know what? What is your... It's called flank thrust. Who's... It's Sinclair that has, the big nuke fake to claim their bones. An on use and a check? Yeah, probably. Yeah. No, I want to give this one a check, actually. Check power +2 if user is at or below half of its max. Okay. An overthrow. Crit effect. Crit. Inflict on paralyze. And that'll help Clash win on this. It gets off. Boop. Boop. Ciao. Here we go. I think that definitely helps. And with the light regen, I think it's somewhat balanced. Yeah, less can be more. I definitely want to keep most skills relatively simple, but I think this is sort of a good balance. Not too wordy, but it has good use. And is there anything else? think we're... Hey! So... Just making sure I didn't miss anything else. I could give him something fun. Nah, I'm just gonna leave it there. Decreasing cost of overthrow. Nah, I think it works. It's definitely stronger than most 2 costs. And with the light regen, it kind of balances out. The point of it really is not to be a nuke, it is to be a skill that gains tempo. It does its job. Oh, actually, I think I can give it a little more. There we go. More aggro. Okay. And I think I am done with these 3. Let me make sure. Oh, yep. Swift, yep. Names are all correct. I don't think there's any missing information. Boom. Let's throw you in Blade Lineage. Copy, paste, move you. Move you. You. Move you. Move you. Move you. Woo! Move you. Move you. Move you. There we go. And you. Yeah, there we go. And you are good and proper. You are not duplicated from the other one. Alright, let me post in Discord the changelog that this has been done. So that it is cataloged. Added 2 new Blade Lineage enemies. And updated the Blade Lineage with new. Boop. Here to change a log. Okay. So that brings us to G-Corp. That did not take nearly as long as I thought it would to make those guys. I guess having the mentor really helped there. So, these guys, definitely early game enemies. Enemies you can fight pretty early on. But I think I want them to be somewhat strong early game enemies. They are veterans of the Smoke War who survived. So, while they are starving, and they are sort of out of shape, I want them to still have the potential to really fuck you up in a combat. I know they were used in the literal first chapter of Limbus, but I want them to actually feel like what their lore would suggest, instead of just tutorial fodder that has, I kid you not, like 1 skill each. Old G-Corp soldiers. 1 skill. 1 skill. 1. Oh, no, 2 skills. This guy's good. He's got 2 skills. 1 skill, but slightly more interesting. Okay. Oh, 2 skills. We're getting better. We're getting better. Oh, rupture. Wow, a keyword status effect. Veteran. So, yeah. They have slightly more interesting versions here, but even then, it's barely anything. So, and then you, yeah, not much either. Oh my god, can gain 2 HP? Holy shit, guys, we're in trouble. Okay, so, what stats did I give some of the earlier? I forgot that you were cut off in your sprite. I need to update you with the proper sprites now that I know where exactly to get them. Anyway, 35. 2. Okay. Yeah, around the 40 range, which makes sense. So I'm going to say you have 40 current max HP, but 60 HP. We're getting crazy with it. We're giving them fake HP, and there's a reason for that beyond just passives, or like HP conditionals and stuff like that. Okay, and then resistance is definitely low. Yeah. Okay. Dagger resist 20, 20, and light 3. And what are you weak to? I guess blunt. No, slash. That's right, that's right. So, yeah, slashing the limbs, I think, there's a justification there. So let's do boom and boom. I think that worked. Alright, and you shouldn't be fast. And 1 speed die, 1 light regen. Okay, passives. I don't have any ideas for passives for you yet. But... oh, you know what? No. Battle... hardening shell. Not exo. Boop. And yeah, the bugs joined Blade Lineage. It's bug Lineage now. Spell hardening exoskeleton. After this scene in at the start of the scene in which this unit recovers stagger, gain to protect. Do I have protection here? Yep. Boom. And then... okay. Oh, and then I have to give you a passive. Starved. And open. Starts each battle with 20 HP. Oh, okay, there we go. Now, let's get on to skills. So, let's just take something from here. Just take you. Oh, no. Oh, Corp. Let's call this one feeding time. That, boom. Boom. Pierce. 1d4, cost 0. Boom. Hit. Regain 2 HP. Regain 2 HP. Okay. And... oh. Boop. Okay. Yep. And then... we want... let's see, what do you have here? Sweep. Stab, quick jabs. Do slice. No, let's do survival. And we will have this be a more defensive skill. Fierce slash. Yeah, I think that's good. And for hit effect, I want something slightly different. So let's do... no, let's do check. Power plus 3 if at or above 40 HP. So, these guys are all about healing, I think is the main thing. Healing, mostly on hit, and if they're at good HP, they get stronger. Noticeably so. Okay. And then... what else shall we do? You know what? These guys have nothing. We should probably be looking at you. Healing. What? More damage on Clash Win. Interesting. So that's hack. Remember. Eviscerate. Yeah, it's all just kind of healing. Yep. Or die skill, it's a possibility, yeah. I might give it to this guy instead, because he's the more mutated form. I think these guys are focused more on survival. But I do think... hack. Boom. 2 cost. 1d8. Hit. Inflict 1 fragile. And then another, call this one a pierce die. Pierce. Let's +1. Hit. Regain HP equal to the damage dealt by this die. Oh, damage should not be capitalized based on our recent style guide. Woo! Thank you for the style guide. Yeah, that's looking fine. Definitely can hurt, but pop up that has blunt die and pierce die, maybe. Let's look at these guys to make sure I'm not making them too weak. I'm gonna compare them to the hooligans, who should probably... Yeah, I mean, the hooligans definitely aren't good. They're not meant to be in any sense of the word. Yeah, slash blunt. Yeah. These guys would definitely be stronger than the hooligans. I just think I could give him a little extra sauce. What extra sauce could we give? I don't want to give too many statuses. I think hacking on bleed wouldn't be fun. Oh, safeguard. These guys are bugs. They should have some safeguard. They were little cockroach guys. They shouldn't be affected by statuses too much. On use, gain 2 safeguard. Ideslicht. Record. Boom. Yeah. Okay. Good shit. Now... Okay. That's probably fine for these guys. These guys are going to be a little more interesting, but still fairly weak. Just a slightly stronger version. So let's start going. I think you... You know what? Actually, I want you to be weak to blunt. And the other guy more weak to slap. Boom, boom, boom. And then you get to be +2, +1, -1, -1. Okay. Yeah, power based on HP. Definitely, but I think I want to save it more for these guys. So let's do 50, 70, 30, 34, and E8, 1, 1. These two abilities. And take the skills and just make them a little stronger. Feeding time will remain the same. Survival, I think will remain the same. Hack, I'm gonna make it slightly stronger. And give them... What is... Viscer? Let's do slash check if the opposing die is a defensive die, reduce its power by 3. So that takes care of any evades that would protect from a skill like this. And hit, inflict, 1 fragile. Hit, regain. I'm just gonna say 2 HP. Boop. Boop. And copy this. Boom, boom, boom. Slightly stronger, because it is going to be a 3 cost. Not copying skill names with Control-Shift-V. I mean, it depends on if it's a name I feel like I need to. Like, if it's multiple words, I'll do copy-paste. But if it's just one word, I can type one word. So, do you want to give more? These are supposed to be a bit more aggressive. Maybe swap out a passive for something more damage focused. You know what? Rejuvenated... Is that how you spell it? No. There we go. Rejuvenated strength. If this unit reaches max HP during the battle, each gain 1. You do not go. Gain 1 strength at the start of each scene for the remainder of the boom. Then where can I grab some strength? You boom. Okay. There we go. So that should be relatively strong. Oh, that needs to be at or above 50 HP. Yeah. You know what? If this unit has reached its max HP... I should copy... has reached its max HP previously in this battle. Again, at the start of the scene. Yeah. Great content figuring out the wording of a weird passive. it gains 1 strength. Okay, that works. And let's move you over so as not to block the words. Okay. Simple enough. I think this guy can be a little threatening. Then, you need to be renamed Old G Corp. Head. Is it head manager or? That tag needs to be changed to Old G Corp. Just in case we ever get modern G Corp. Off drop. That one. Yep. Yeah, it is head manager. Okay. Head. You are going to be 1d4, but plus 2, or yeah, 1d4 plus 2. And then 2. Yeah, you will have a little bit of sync. I don't want to do too much for him, but definitely a bit tanky, I feel. 30, 30. Oh, let's do. Let's go all the way to 70. Fuck it. Out of 100. Boom. The brood shall feed. So, I already know sort of what I want this guy's gimmick to be. We'll get to resistances in a second. Track the amount of HP covered by allies each scene. At the end of the scene, gain 1 strength. Next scene, for every 10 HP recovered. There we go. Yeah, and probably he will have a low attack weight skill. That's 4. I think that works. And then, honestly, I think just -2 to all of these. And then, so this won't have much of a upper limit, but it is still limited by the amounts that they reasonably can get. So it's not gonna get too scary, and of course he probably will have mostly single die skills, but it should still be somewhat powerful. Alright. And boom. And let's just give you this skill just so you have it. I think this will be kind of a through line for all the characters. 3 and 70. And then oh. I do think, I Put you there. Oh, yep, human leader. Boop. Thank you for that. And start shoots battle. Scavengers opening. When this unit staggers an enemy and one ally of this choice may use the skill feeding time against that enemy without spending a speed die. Boom! So that should be a little nasty. Get a little more damage in and a little more healing. Won't be like absolutely devastating, but it will hurt. Let's see what you do. I want to look at both. Oh. Section, rupture. Okay, yeah, not much. But, you order section, attack power up, damage up, sinking, more sinking, attack power down. So, also an interesting passive there. Okay. I've got an idea for kind of what I want. Let's do offense form on use. Give an ally 1 strength. Boom. Let's call this blunt. And the 8 plus 3. Do I want? I think I want him to be a little high. Boom and boom. I think I want just one of his skills to inflict sinking, but it should inflict quite a bit of sinking. Let's do that skill just right now. So this is going to be the big inflict sinking skill. Let's call this War Cry. Call it a 3 cost. Let's make it a big old blunt and give it attack weight. Where can I find some attack? You have any? I don't think so. There you are. Now, I don't want him to have too much sinking. Sinking plus sinking deluge really wouldn't matter. I'm not doing too much. 28 plus 6 I think is good for a nice threatening skill. And hit. Inflict or sinking. Boom. Okay. Honestly, I think that's fine. And not making this guy too crazy. Transform, and let's do defense form. And just basically switch. Boom. 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 I do protection. Okay, and boom. Kaboom. All right. Okay, I just realized why I'm feeling a little bored. I do not have the music playing on my end. Let me fix that. Where? Stream music mix. There we go. You should have music. But I want some of my own. There we go. Wah! Okay, Not all I want. I want him to be... I mean, he has attack weight. That's pretty threatening on its own. Yeah, with this, I think he's pretty threatening still. He has big block dice to get some stagger off while staying safe. Say, and one safeguard. Okay. So, yeah, this should make for a nice little mini-boss. It is absolutely not, like, a big threat, but it is... If you put him in the place of a regular enemy instead of, making space for him, I think he could really fuck some people up. Which is what I want. I want him to take up space, be a notable threat, have the players adjust and make room for him. I think put him alongside, like, two of these guys, and maybe two of these guys, depending on how many players you have and what level, would absolutely be a rough fight. How does he regain HP? He really doesn't. Maybe... Yeah. I don't want him to have as much HP regaining, because, you know, Otis doesn't have that, he doesn't really have much of that, but I do think... Not... Passive... Recovery... At the end of each scene, if this unit is... No, let's say regain 1 HP for every 10 missing HP on self. So that could be a decent amount of HP recovery, while not being too incredible. That's up to 9 if he's really low, which is more than bleh. Which the players will have more than enough damage to deal with, but it will make him last longer. And it will give him more strength as the battle goes on. So... Okay. I think that is good. I think that is a perfectly fine set of enemies. Let's put these guys in the wings main tab, but they're gonna be at the bottom and they're gonna be set as old G Corp. And what bugs do we have? A cricket seems good. These guys are relatively cricket-like. Boom. 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 And boom. And boom. Finally, a boom, and, get this, a boom. Is there a roach emoji? I didn't see one when I looked up bug, but... Oh, yep, look at that, cockroach. Okay. I had to specifically search up cock for that. Very interesting. That it did not appear when I searched for bug. Right. Let me put this in the Discord. Added 3 old G Corp veteran. Boom! Bugs. Alright. That, honestly, is kind of it for what I wanted to do today. I suppose... Yeah? Let's look at what we've got. So I think for the rest of this stream, I'll just talk about a little of what I want to do with 0.7. Yes, I will check out your homebrew door. So for 0.7, it's mostly just going to be reorganization, and sort of putting up the thing. I think I want to add, if I go to here, you can see I've got a little Sinclair here. I want to add more sort of sprites like this. I want to add like little chibis going around, doing things, acting out scenes, as you're looking through the dock. I don't want too many, because I don't want it to obviously be like overshadowing the actual text, but every now and then just seeing a little guy doing stuff. Not just sinners, but also like notable enemies, even generics, just going about their lives, fighting, playing things out, having fun little bits. I think that would make it a lot prettier. But a main thing I want to do, you might have heard me talk about this when I was streaming with Green Mage Moss. I want to reorganize the entire skill module thing and sort them by their status effect, by what I think you should look at first. And that's going to take some time, but once I do that, it will sort of put into perspective how many modules I have for each status, and really help me, I think, make some new modules. So I think before the end of when I'm publishing 0.7, as well as going into 1.0, I will be able to make a lot of, more status effect modules, make stuff that I think will sort of round out the roster of modules. So that will be very helpful. Unique skills, I don't think I will sort. I might move a few around, but I don't think I'll fully sort them properly. And then also, I probably want to make more feats at some point. I think there's some room I can do to get some more interesting feats out there, like I was talking about the poise one. Egos, I also probably won't be sorting. I have no idea if I want to keep this guy or not. Honestly, we might be getting his ego in about 6 months or so. Sort ego by tier. Plenty of ego want to be near ego that are in the same series but of different tiers. I don't think I want to sort entirely by tier. I think that'll just not be all that great because, like, what do I do with this? 2 Hornets of different tiers. I want them to stay together. So, I think just the random organization I have is fine. We released a pre-written adventure recently. I have a few ideas for other ones that will probably be a bit more interesting. But this one is a perfectly fine little adventure featuring some new abnos. Still didn't change Cobalt Scar? Yeah, let me see. No, it did get changed. That was actually thanks to Yaldabaoth wanting to do it. I do want to move it to a space where I can actually put the special status alongside it, but yep. Yaldabaoth changed that, and I approved the change, because fuck it. I think it's probably better to have it be just on its own, rather than an effect that was stealth but wasn't actually. But I do want to move this at some point to a place where it can be on its own. So, what else? Yeah, we talked about syncing changes. I think I'm gonna hold off on that for now. But syncing Deluge does a fucking lot. That is a lot of damage. So it is something that kind of makes me hesitant to make too many applications of syncing. But maybe alternative payoffs that don't synergize well with Deluge could be good. Giving options. Giving you reasons to keep up the stack instead of nuking it. But syncing Deluge is in my radar. Yeah. And then charge, I need to make some more payoffs for mainly. Maybe some new ways to generate it. Charge barrier, I feel. Yeah, Blaze, I don't feel much of a need to increase at this point. I feel like it's in a decent state, because it's not meant to be the same value as Tremor Burst. Blaze is absolutely its own thing that is meant to be of weaker value. It is not meant to be something you rely on, but rather something that you use as an alternative way to inflict burn. There is a reason it is a rank 1 module, as opposed to the others, which you do have a rank 1 Tremor Burst, but it's bad. It eats Tremor count. And then I'm wondering if charge barrier might be a problem. What I might do is I might just limit this to 5 in early levels and increase it in later levels. That might be good. Increase it back up to 10 as you level up. Because I think, yeah, later on, 10 barrier a turn is still good, but it's not gonna be crazy. But early, that can really make you pretty invincible. Really hard to kill, at least. No, I can go ahead and do that. Yeah, having more use against a single target might be good, just so it's not quite as useless. Because right now it's just one burn. But, let's see. X5. Increase the maximum gained to 10 when you reach level 5. Yeah, so that should keep it in check in early levels, while still letting it be strong in later levels. Nerfed the charge, barrier, ego, passive in lower levels, while letting it stay the same after reaching level 5. Boom. So that should keep it from being too crazy, but still being good. Oh, there's a heartbreak emoji. Oh, no. Yeah. Unfortunately, 10 free HP per turn was a little strong. Should be scaled upon against single target like it would against multiple. Interesting. I don't disagree. But I think in applying more burn based on how much burn you've already applied, while it's good when you're spreading, I don't think I want it to necessarily get quite so like exponential with it. But I do think more tools to make single target blaze worthwhile is good. Oh. There's a heartbreak and then there's a heart emoji. Interesting. Okay. Let's see. Yeah. Yeah, I do want to take, like, win more versus lose less effects into account. I do think I want this system to have a lot more of a back and forth when possible, instead of just steamrolling enemies. That obviously requires a bit more experience on my end on balancing and running the system. I need to contact the Time Heist crew. It's about time to be discussing the next one-shot we're going to do. I cannot make any promises about who will actually be joining, or whether or not it'll be the same people, when it will be, whatever. I can just say, we are getting ready to talk about it. And that's about as far as we've gotten. But you can look forward to that in a few months, I suppose. Maybe a month or two. Let's see. Is there anything else I want to talk about? Any questions you guys have? Any suggestions for little fixes to do while I'm here? Any other quick fixes you can think? We're going to burn at the end of this scene another time. I could see some sort of feat where if you trigger Blaze like 3 times against a target, you get extra burn damage. That could be interesting. Okay, and... Okay. Let's see. Anything else? Archetypes, the... Yeah, the ego gifts that reward a bunch of tremor bursts. Yeah. Archetypes, I don't think I have any more ideas for archetypes except for the one I'm doing for Shin. Shin and Mong, I haven't done much with since I last talked to you guys, but I want to get back to it soon. Maybe try and get it finished before 1.0. Because I do kind of need to integrate this into the system, and it might not be good to do that after 1.0. In fact, doing this before... I don't want to delay the update too much, but getting this integrated before reworking the whole, main page might be a good idea. So, we'll see. Inventory system, more or less, I think, works. Yeah, I don't think I really want to encourage stacking those things with Triform Tactics. I think you have options as to how you want to use that. I'm not gonna do too much there. What about... I do want to buff, however, the other options for Triform Tactics, especially this one. This one needs a complete rework. This one needs me to just swap it for something else. What about... Yeah. Yeah. But I think this is about it. I want to make a player resources at some point. Something that just gives a bunch of, little tips for building your character, as well as figuring out their story in the city, giving, a table of, ideas of, here's some things to think about when you're making your character. So... And then we have this little section here. I want to expand this as well. We have the thing for NPC companions, calling fights. So, all sorts of options, but I want to give more tools to more GMs, because God knows we need more GMs. We have I think only just gotten our, Yeah, we had a whole week period of no games showing up in the LFG forum. I'm hoping that will change with the pre-writtens. We'll start to see more GMs try and start games with these. They can be... Don't want to go too far into this because I don't want to spoil it, but we have this. Fun. Boop. Yeah. I think I am just about done. We're heading into 10 o'clock, and I will want to do some stuff before I eat my final meal of the day and head to bed. So, I will think on all the things we've done here, all the things we've talked about, and I will figure out what my next plan is. I also need to get with Marshall and figure out the, second batch of Kanto 4 cards, for those of you who are into the MTG stuff. Yeah. I have seen the ways in which a new game listing is immediately spammed. Alright. So, I will see you all next week. I might have a stream in the middle of this next week. I don't know. I'm gonna try and get with Pryor and Cinna to finish up some more ID rankings, because that has been fun, and I want to talk to them again. But I cannot make any promises as for this week's content. I just have ideas. Alright. See you soon.